I tried it today. Single morning and half so for my entire life. I don't think that there's a day that I actually eat solid food that I've not had peanut butter and toast in the morning. It's just as good though. I decided to try it today and I didn't think it was as good. That's okay.
Added to cereal. Cereal, can I put cereal?
It's so good.
They have a peanut butter milkshake at Lux Dairy on Woodward. Get it mixed with a little bit of, some Heath Bar chocolate in there too. Oh my God.
My dad loves Heath Bar. My dad loves Heath Bar.
You guys look at sweeter.
What we're going to talk about, let me give you a little bit of background here. You have a test on Monday. And test on Monday, Zaid. There are 50 multiple choice questions plus 10 identification. You will have a picture, a very prominent newsmaker, and if you don't know who the prominent newsmakers are, all you need to do, Mr. Reed, is just turn on the television or look at the newspaper. They are obvious, prominent, national, or supremely local, high-profile newsmakers. Now, you've seen them all here, but again, since I put them up on the board, like Rome, even though they're not even on the test, right? I put up Romer yesterday and Summers.
Yeah.
And in today's Detroit News, guess who's in the newspaper? Romer and Summers.
Oh.
They're there. You turn on the news and they're somewhere. Last night watching Wolf Blitzer, all they had is two pictures, Romer and Summers, because they are stepping away from the economic advisement of the president. They think that Rahm Emanuel is also going to step away, so that there is a perception, along with Bob Woodward's book about the president, that there is turmoil in the White House. I got news for you. There's always turmoil in any White House. It's just the way the business is. So that's Monday. A week from Monday, so that you will know. A week from Monday, you will have your second reaction paper. What? Now you may ask yourself,
It will be given to us.
Let's do it. Let's
You're gonna
do
give him
it.
some attitude.
what now?
Is it going to be due that Monday or will it be given?
I'll give it ahead of time. I'm telling you now. Right? Because apparently at Detroit Country Day, which is amazing, I had a girl, ninth grade, email me last night at 11:19 and said to me, Mr. Kenny, I'm going to be away from school on November 11th. Do you know what the assignment is going to be? Or what we need? Now, I remember Patrick being much the same way when he was in ninth grade, coming up and wanting to know exactly what was happening. So I'm trying to be ahead of the game a little bit for you. Now, I wrote her back, just so you know.
Good job.
I wrote her back and said, you gotta be kidding me. I don't know if I'm gonna be alive then. How would I know that? Anyway, but I do want you to be a little bit prepared, so that for some of you, you could get a little bit ahead of the game. Not that you'd write the paper, but here's what the paper is gonna be about. We are, starting today, we are going to talk about political parties and their influence. Most of you have some political party affiliation because it was what your mommy and daddy say. You don't have a clue as to what the actual political party has to say about any specific specific issue. You will see on the assignment sheet, it hasn't been posted yet, but eventually you will see on the assignment sheet the websites for both political parties and my personal favorite political party, the Libertarians. They're a little different. You will look at those sites on their issues. I'm going to give you two of which I do know I'm going to have you look at. You are not limited to those two. And the issue is, you're going to look at national defense, you're going to look at health care, and one other subject to be determined. And you're going to actually read them from both parties, maybe all three. And you're going to sort of, in the week before you write the paper, sort of compare them. You might find, Zay, that they are incredibly similar. You might find that there are slight nuances in their similarities. Or you might find they are wildly divergent in their opinion. And then you are going to have to get off the fence and state which platform you agree with and maybe for the first time come to your own decisions as to whether or not you are an anarchist, a libertarian, a Republican, or a Democrat. And it might come as some shock to you. Mr. Republican Nathan back there, you might be reading it and go, whoa, I didn't realize I'm really a Democrat. I like their platform better. Now, let me explain a few words. The American public is not overly intelligent. It's intelligent, but it's not overly intelligent. It's called a platform. Because it's the issues on which you stand. Oh, and each issue, as you hear in the political system, each issue, now I'm going to show you another little design here, and you're right, I can't draw. So this is the top of the platform. Now you're looking down. Each issue is what's called a plank, a board on the platform, which the candidate from the party stands. So you have the candidate standing on the platform, which consists of many planks, issues. They all will address, each party are going to address the same issues. And that's so that you can hopefully tell the difference between the parties. So they're not going to be apples and oranges. How they explain the issue may be apples and oranges, but you'll find when you get to the website that, guess what, the Republicans have an issue known as national defense and home care and home security and so on, and the Democrats will also. So you'll look at them and hopefully come to some kind of a decision as to where you, and using a little phrase from today's senior speeches, sort of which path you alone want to walk. I don't think I listen. My own advisory never thinks I go to all of them.
I'm honestly never sure.
What if you didn't want to be either
Anything?
Republican or Democrat?
Well, then I'll give you the Libertarian, and you can look at that. If you want to be a Communist Party person, is that okay?
No.
You could knock yourself out and do a little bit of work. But for the most part, and I'll explain this in a second, I'll explain it to you now. For the most part in America, our political system is consolidated between the two parties. Most people would assume, if you were to ask Mr. Corwin and Mr. Seidel, who also teach government, and ask them, hey, both of you guys, come here for a second. I heard that Mr. Kenny in the last election voted for Bob Barr and the Libertarians. Probably after they stopped laughing or stopped going, yeah, no kidding, he did. They would say it's kind of a wasted vote because our party hinges, our political system hinges on the Republicans and Democrats. So you could be one, and I'm sure you could be a Green Party, right? You could be a Peace Party, you could be a Tea Party, but you won't be really elected. You're going to really have to sort of come within the fold of the Republicans and Democrats in America to get elected right now. I would have thought, as I extrapolate just a little bit more, follow with me, I would have thought that in 1992, there was a chance that we might get a third party. But the person they put forward for the third party was a Texas Instrument CEO. And you all have little Texas Instruments. Yeah, Texas Instruments. He was the guy who started that. His name was Ross Perot. He was kind of an engineer. He started.
How old was he when he was running?
For what? The company? He was young.
No, for president.
He was probably in his early 50s. But at that point, he was considered to be like a buffoon, and his voice was real high, and his ears were too big, and so people, made fun of him. He was sort of looked at like a buffoon, and he had some good ideas, but he just wasn't electable. But at that point, people were disenchanted with the Republicans, and they were disenchanted with the Democrats, and it wasn't even close. It wouldn't have happened. So they'll tell you that my vote in 2008 was just a throwaway vote, wasted vote. I would say, on the other hand, no, I voted for my conscience, and what can be more important than voting your conscience?
Nothing.
Why vote for the lesser of two evils? Why not vote what you know is right? And their response would probably be, but you got no chance in hell of those guys that Bob Barr didn't have a chance, and he didn't. He got like less than 1% of the vote. And I can be real proud that I was one of that less than 1%, but my guy didn't get elected. So somebody else is making policy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, any questions about what you're going to have to do?
I'm just excited to get that sheet that tells us what to do.
Good, I'm glad, George. Now, two other terms that you need to know. When you talk about politics and parties, one is partisan, and the other one is bipartisan. Partisan means that you are going to sort of speak and act the party line. I'm going to explain that in a second. Bipartisan means you're going to cross over between parties, and in a sense, regardless of what your party wants, you're going to do the right thing. That's what bipartisan means. Now, you will hear politicians, parents, all the time say, in order for us to really move America forward, we have to act in a bipartisan way. We have to act and do the right thing regardless of what our party wants. The problem is that 99.9% of the time, no matter what happened, the elected official is going to vote in a partisan way. He's going to vote this way. He's going to talk this way.